Everyone, we want to welcome you to sessions 7. And this is a very, very special, not that the other ones aren't, but this is a very special presentation that we have today. We have Carol Burtis, who is the director of Community Emergency Response Team for Huntington Beach. She's been at this for about 34 years and just such a wonderful person. Loves the outdoors, and we've really had a great time just even getting to know each other a little bit more. Even though I am a prodigal CERT team volunteer, and it looks like I'm gratefully and willingly getting reeled back in. But anyway, with no further ado, let's give this over to Carol.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
All right, we have screen share.
It's now, can you see it?
I can see it.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. We're going to get started here. My name is Carol Burtis. As he said, I am the coordinator for our CERT program, and I'm going to give you a little quick background on how our team started, and then also some basic preparedness items. So Huntington Beach CERT was first thought about in 1991. We had a waterspout come on shore as a tornado, and it ripped up a mobile home park there. And CERT was first started in LA in 1985, and we kind of looked at that, and by 1992, City of Huntington Beach said, you know, that seems like a good plan. We're going to start working on that. And so we had our first class in 1993. My husband and I are charter members. We graduated from the very first class. We have since, over the last several years here, have trained thousands of people. I currently have 200 plus active volunteers that go out in the community and help. And just last year, they donated almost 5,000 hours of volunteer time to the city, which I think is just fabulous. And so how we go about doing that, you need to take one of our CERT classes. It's a 20-hour class. We have found doing it over a weekend to work really well, because a lot of times if we do it on consecutive weeknights, life has a way of getting in the way. So we do a Friday night from 6 to 10, and then all day Saturday and Sunday from 8 to 5. And our next class is October 23rd to the 25th this fall. And so you might say, what do CERT volunteers do? I don't know if I want to join this program. Well, you don't have to want to join the program to take the class. The class is going to give you basic information on how to take care of yourself, your family, maybe help your neighbors out in an emergency. But if you do decide to become one of our volunteers, enjoy our fun group of people, we do a lot of things. We do training, as you can see from these pictures, with other CERT programs in the county. We are fortunate in Orange County, have 28 separate CERT programs, and all of us coordinators from those programs meet monthly. And so we coordinate various trainings. In fact, we were just on a meeting planning one for later this fall. Some of the other things our volunteers do, those that are interested in first aid, we staff the first aid booth for the upcoming US Open, for the Pacific Air Show, and several other events throughout the year. Last year and the previous year, we actually volunteered some of our people at the Wetland and Wildlife Care Center because they were in need of additional help. We helped at fire camps in the past, everything from making coffee for firefighters to having a little store, if you will, of donated items for them. We walk in the 4th of July parade and also do the first aid booth for that. We do sandbagging for people that are physically challenged and unable to fill and deliver them for themselves if we have severe weather like we're looking at later this year. We help in shelters, and these are some pictures from our CERT volunteers helping set up the shelter at Golden West College from the Garden Grove incident this last May. We were called out to help get those set up and to help get those started until Red Cross could find enough staff to do it themselves. So a lot of our volunteers take Red Cross shelter training as part of their extended training to volunteer. We also help out at the fire department open house that we have most every year. The open house, this is going to be held October 10th. And I encourage all of you to come out and join us from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at our Gothard Fire Station. We have some really fun programs for the kids to do. We have demos on how we put fires out, station tours, all kinds of really fun stuff. CERT will be there staffing our booth and giving out some little prizes and preparedness information. So I always want to remind everybody that even though we don't feel earthquakes very often, we are still having them. And so you can see California is kind of on the low side right now, which is okay with me. We're under 650, so that's always good. When it starts getting over 1,000, you kind of go, what's going on? You can also see from the adjacent map, there are lots of earthquakes going on around the world right now. And those lines that you see on the map, U.S. Geological Survey recently added those. Those are plate boundaries and major faults. So you can see around the Pacific Basin there, the so-called Ring of Fire, the earthquake faults that circle the entire Pacific Basin that can actually bring tsunamis and stuff even to our coast. So in the city of Huntington Beach, we have a population over 200,000. There's about 41 firefighters on duty at any time with 11 trucks and engines that can respond. So as you can see, if we have a major incident like an earthquake or something like that, we are not going to be showing up at your doorstep anytime really fast after that happens. And so we need you to get better prepared and to have supplies on hand and know what to do to take care of yourself and your family. So you might say, how am I going to find out if there's some kind of an emergency other than an earthquake that's obvious? One of the first things is there are various emergency alerting systems. So Alert OC is a county system. You go out to their website, register your cell phone, your email, however you want to be contacted if for some reason like there's a severe storm or hazardous material spill or something else. In the city, we also have 8 sirens at all of our fire stations. And those are not just for tsunami, those are to kind of get your attention and say, hey, we've got something we need to let you know about. And so you can check our website or a local news, radio, or TV channel. And then one of the other ones is MyShake, and it's an app you can get to put on your phone, and it will give you advance warning for any earthquakes that are in our area that are going to be 6.0 or greater. And I'm going to play you real quick the alert sound that it would give you.
Earthquake. Drop, cover, hold on, shaking expected. Earthquake. Drop, cover, hold on, shaking expected.
And the really neat thing about that particular app, you can set it up for whatever you want. I have mine that will notify me of earthquakes 3.0 or above within the 50, 75 miles from Huntington Beach.
Okay.
And then on top of that, it will automatically notify you of anything 6 point that you're going to feel anything larger than 4.5 or 6 or above. And you have to set up a home base, and then it just tracks where you are. So even when I was in Northern California, it still had my home base, but it said, oh, you're not there right now. Your phone's someplace else. And so it kept track of everything for me. So if we were to have an earthquake, what do you do? People say, should I evacuate my house? Do I remain inside? And I have to tell you, that's up to you. Do you feel safe where you are? Did a bunch of things fall down that you don't feel safe? Is there a gaping hole out the side of the building that something, a window broke or something more severe happened? So you're really going to have to look around, do what we call a size up of how everything looks, and then say, I'm okay. Nothing major happened. I'm okay inside, or, I think I might feel more comfortable being outside. We want you to be very mindful, double check, make sure you don't have any gas leaks. We're going to talk about turning off the gas here in a couple of slides. But Don't turn on any lights or open flames or anything, especially until you know there is not a gas leak. Otherwise, you could potentially cause a fire or an explosion. And then have a spot outside your home that you can always run to that has a safe area where things aren't liable to fall on you. So one of the major problems after a major earthquake or flooding and that type of thing is loss of communication, a lot of times loss of utilities. We all saw last week the major water main break in Los Angeles simply because the pipes are old. And you imagine those old pipes after a 6 or 7 point earthquake, you're going to have a lot of water leaks going on, sewer leaking, power going out, natural gas leaks. Potential for large urban fires, maybe some older buildings having problems, and obviously medical systems being overloaded. Liquefaction is another potential issue, especially here in Huntington Beach. We have a lot of areas that are below sea level. So with liquefaction, it's basically the ground shakes, the high water table mixes with the ground, and when it does that, it can cause the ground to sink. These pictures are from the 2011 Japan earthquake, where they had some areas that experienced liquefaction. I always tell people, if you want to know what liquefaction is, go stand at the water line at the beach, tap your foot sinks. You created an earthquake and liquefaction. So that gives you some idea of how that works. So as far as utilities, you need to know how to shut off your own utilities. If you're an apartment building, obviously at least know where they are. If you have an on-site manager, perhaps they can take care of it. But in your own home, we recommend having a wrench actually attached to your gas meter. You can see in the picture to the just below the gas meter there, it shows this silver wrench, and it is one specifically for gas meters. You can buy them at any hardware store. They're out of a material that won't cause sparks. If you have a leak there, it won't cause a spark or an explosion. Learn how to turn off your water at the water main, learn how to turn off your electricity, and make sure your water heater is securely anchored. So have some type of plan, as we mentioned, an outdoor meeting location, how you're going to reunite with your family, any family members that may have special needs. If you have kids that are home alone, be sure that you try and have a trusted neighbor that can check on them. Do you have your own transportation if you had to evacuate? If not, maybe let a neighbor know that you might want to check with you to see if you need a ride, and practice your plan. We encourage everyone to have copies of important documents. Again, you can't always rely on your phone working. Phones, part of communication, could go down. If the cell phone tires go down, or they only usually have batteries in them that maybe last 8 hours. So unless it's a type of emergency that they can get a generator for it, you may not have cell phone service at all. But you can always try texting, but you might not be able to call. But having an actual photograph of your family, not just something on your phone, because if you can't recharge your cell phone, you go somewhere, say, I'm looking for this person. They're about 5'8" in dark hair. You're not going to have much luck. So you need an actual photograph. Have some small cash, because the ATMs aren't going to be working. And if you need to buy something, you may actually need to use cash, that rare thing Venmo and all that may not be working. We're kind of getting codependent on all the credit card and tap and all of that, and that may not be working. Have some of your important documents, like any insurance policies, perhaps a loan information. Have it on a flash drive, have actual copies of it someplace, because if this goes on for a while and you need to actually show something as far as that's, your policy number to get reimbursed. We would like all of you to have what we call a grab and go bag, just like they had in the Garden Grove incident. They needed to evacuate in a hurry. So I won't go through the whole list here, but just anything you might need in a 2 or 3 day period, whether it's medications, glasses, pair of shoes, some extra clothes, snacks. I don't know about you, but I'm one of those that get the hangry, so I always make sure I have food. You don't want to be around me if I haven't eaten. So definitely that would be some things you'd want in your grab and go bag. If you have children, you need one for them. If they're young, you might need diapers. They're more picky with what they eat, so make sure and include that for them. And then as far as pets, if it's not safe for you, be sure to take them with you and have a grab and go bag for them, maybe a carrier, an extra leash, some toys. Unlike even smaller children that you can kind of explain what's going on, your pets are just scared. And so if they're with you and they have maybe one of their favorite toys with them, that will help them a lot. So having some supplies in your car, especially if you leave the city and drive any kind of distance for your job. These emergency pouches of food and water are really good because they're relatively small and they are meant to sit in a hot car for up to 5 years. So you only have to rotate the supplies out every 5 years, especially for anyone that maybe wears not super comfy shoes at their job, have a comfy pair of walking shoes, and try not to let your gas tank go below half a tank, because if the power goes out, you can't refill and you have to evacuate. You may need that gas in your tank. Have a little bag at work. I've got one. I'm actually one of the lead safety officers here at City Hall, so I've got a very big bag. So I'm going to have to put it in my little rolling cart to get it out of the building. But again, snacks, food, water, and then at work, do you need, if you're on a safety team, you might need some work gloves and kneeling pads and that type of thing. Become familiar with first aid. If you take our CERT class, we do disaster first aid, and we make sure you learn how to use the supplies you have at home, even if you don't have a fancy first aid kit. CPR training, and just know what supplies are in your first aid kit so you know how to use it. You should have at least 3 days to 2 weeks of food and water on hand. You can store them in a variety of ways. Maybe if you have a closet by your front door, you can put it in a trash can on wheels and that type of thing. But don't store any water or liquids in there, at least not without double bagging them, because plastic containers can sometimes leak. You need at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. Extra for any other needs. Again, 3 days to 2 weeks is preferable. You can buy bottled water. You're going to want to rotate that probably about every 6 months, not because the water goes bad, but sometimes it starts not to taste too good. And then you could go all the way up to the blue barrel. You see there's 55-gallon barrel that you can store water in, and they make a natural preservative that once you clean and fill barrel with a clean water hose, put that preservative and it lasts up for 5 years. So have food on hand that you don't have to prepare, heat, or that uses a lot of water. And keep in mind, canned goods don't all have pull tops on them. So you might need an old-fashioned hand can opener if you're using stuff like that. Where are you going to store supplies? Well, obviously, you're going to have your grab and go bag. We suggest tying that to your bed. So even if the earthquake is the type that moves your bed around the room, you can still find your grab and go bag. The little clamshell boxes are really good if you don't have a lot of room, because they're somewhat opaque. You can see what's in them and they stack really well. Or if you have a shed in your backyard, some of your supplies can go into that. You need to remember to rotate your supplies. And so you're going to have to go find a method that works for you, whether it's a note on your phone, on your calendar. I'm a little OCD, so I've got a spreadsheet. That's actually part of my spreadsheet on the screen there, reminding me when to rotate things out. Or you can do something as simple as sticky notes on a calendar. Make sure that you try and secure furniture in your home that could fall on anyone in there. We kind of say if it's taller than the shortest person in the house, it should probably be attached to the wall. They make some great kits to be able to do that. All the hardware stores have it, or you can kind of make up your own with L brackets and that type of thing. The other thing is the kitchen. The kitchen has things that are heavy. You should try and store those down low. And you also have a lot of glassware and things that can fly out and break. And so you really want to put some kind of latches on your cabinet. And this is why. The picture on the right-hand side with the microwave sitting on the floor is actually a cabin we used to have in Big Bear following the Big Bear Landers earthquake. The microwave, the dishes, the canned soup, the cans, back then we had glass jars of like relish and mustard and all of that landed on the floor. The refrigerator opened, and it dented the floor. We put in a new floor and we still found broken glass. So the more cabinets you can keep closed, the better off you will be. a lot less to clean up. As far as around your home, try not to have anything over your bed that's heavy that can fall on you, because if it shaking starts during the time you're sleeping, we want you to stay in bed, curl up in a ball, put a pillow over your head to protect your head, and stay put. Don't go running in an earthquake, because then items can fall on you or the house can shift. If it's a really severe earthquake, you're not going to be able to walk anyway. So if you have to have it under a window, try and keep the drapes closed, blinds closed, that type of thing. And if you have children in cribs, especially if you have tile or wood flooring, try and anchor that into the wall so on the wheels it doesn't go flying across the room. That would not be very fun for anybody. Have some emergency lighting. The light that's in the bottom corner there, that white one, they sell stuff similar to that online still, and that just plugs into the wall and sits there. And then when the power goes out, it comes on, and you can have it set to either come out the top like a flashlight or out the front so it lights your way. And we suggest that's at the top and bottom of stairs and all your bedrooms and by your exits. And then have some light sticks, a hand crank flashlight, radio combo is great, or just a regular flashlight with extra batteries. So I've kind of gone briskly through this, but are you ready for the big one? You ready for everything to start shaking? Are you ready from some flooding from El Nino? This winter, you might have heard, we're having the Godzilla of El Ninos. And so there you go. Any thoughts, questions, or anything else that I can bring up for you? And that's just short version of what I did.
You just really tipped the iceberg enough to make us all realize we really need to do some stuff. I'm thinking about all the things I haven't refreshed in a while. I have two 55-gallon drums of water outside, and I think I'm due to put the freshener in there.
Yeah, what you really need to do that is pump the water out, put a little water from a clean hose and bleach it, roll it around, rinse it well, fill it up, and there you go. Yeah. You can order the preservative online.
Yeah, we have the preservative.
Perfect.
So, well, thank you so much on that. Just a couple questions that just kind of popped in my head. So, anyone watching this, if you were to put your top 3 things to do, like, okay, I'm thinking about CERT, but I haven't made a commitment, but I know I need preparedness. So, what would be the top 3 things you would say?
So grab and go bags for everybody at home, car, work, because as we saw with Garden Grove and in other incidences around the country, stuff can change really fast. Flooding can happen. A bad windstorm can cause a problem, anything like that. So be prepared to be able to evacuate quickly, I think would be the number one thing on my list. Walk around your home, take pictures of everything, and have that somewhere safe. So if there is damage, you can show it to the insurance company. We came back from vacation a few years ago and the water heater broke. And unfortunately, rather than flowing out the driveway, it flowed through our master bathroom and bedroom. And having some photos of what all that's supposed to look like when it's not dripping in water and the drywall peeling off was handy to have, even for something like that. Boy, the third one's tough, but having some extra food and water stored, I think, is another big one. And it's got to be age appropriate. If you have special dietary needs, you need to try and pay attention to that as well.
Yeah, that's super important. And when everything, just thinking about a couple of different things with COVID, a lot of people were really just not prepared. Like, we have no food in the house. So, again, probably for me being in CERT before, we had a lot of shelf-stable food. So when we were going in, it's just like, okay, let's get something we don't have to thaw out. I mean, we had meat in the freezer, we had other things, but it can happen. And also, what was the other one? I was in when the Palisades fire started. I was actually in Bel Air.
Oh my.
And just turning out, and I had called, there was all that wind and everything. So I called my neighbors, like, hey, can you go put all the umbrellas down so they don't blow in the pool and whatnot? And I'm leaving, going west on Sunset, and I saw all the smoke. And just realizing, like you said, that grab and go, how many people like literally took off with just the clothes on your back.
Yeah.
That was so
They were
important.
literally
So,
running for their lives. I mean, you might remember a lot of people had abandoned their cars because they
mhm.
couldn't get out, and then later on they put a, a bulldozer to get the cars out of the way so the first responder trucks could get up. My
Oh
gosh,
yeah,
we're sitting here watching it on TV that day. It
it
was just
was.
horrendous.
Yeah, yeah, it was. I'm looking on Sunset and just the smoke, and I'm talking to another agent here at the office, and it's like, oh my, what's going on? And then about an hour or two later, when I got further south.
Yep.
So that is those three things, people grab and go back, number one,
Hmm.
as it can happen so fast.
Yep.
And then take those photos. Make sure you know what's in your house. Again, we had an evacuation in Wrightwood with one of the fires.
Hmm.
And like I was telling you the story, I went around, took pictures, grabbed my dirty clothes and my two computers, and we were out.
Yep.
Uh, your possessions aren't worth your life, so you
No,
gotta move fast.
absolutely.
Yeah. So for those that are ready to join CERT, how do they find you, especially here
So the
for
easiest
Huntington Beach?
easiest way to find it is just go to Google and say HB CERT, and it should be the very top thing that comes up. It's on the city's website, so you can go to the city's website and look for us on there as well. And the link to sign up for our class is actually on our website. Everything's through the Huntington Beach Sands.
Very, very good. So, one last question. Actually, we may have time for a couple more questions. Um, what's the most, this has been 30 something years of being with CERT. What was one of the more stressful situations where CERT had to be activated?
Uh, a couple years ago, I think it's 3 years ago now, when Tropical Storm Hillary was making her way up here, and they first thought it was going to make a direct hit on Huntington Beach. We got lucky and it ended up veering. Unfortunate for the Palm Springs area, it ended up going most of its rain out there. But we had never had so many phone calls for sandbags, and we were at the Public Works yard. People were filling up their own, and with help, we had to fill and deliver 2,000 sandbags pretty much in one day,
Wow.
which was a lot. And I've been working on redoing our sandbag plan should we have any kind of severe weather like this, like that happened this year with all the El Nino and stuff like that. So I've got more helpers that can come in and return phone calls for people that are calling for bags and location where to get them and that kind of thing.
Wow. Yeah, that was a stressful time. We were actually out of town trying to get home when that happened, wondering if we were actually going to make it, and fortunately, it didn't give us a direct hit.
Yep.
Well, again, Carol, thank you so much.
You're
This was
welcome.
very informative, and it's very important. Um, People just don't realize, taking care of yourself and being prepared, self-preparedness is just so important.
Having a plan on what you're going to do. I, as a child,
Yes.
was trapped in my bedroom in the 71 Silmar earthquake, and my dad, in the dark, had to go find a crowbar to prop the door open because the house had shifted and it wouldn't open. And
Wow.
so, having a plan on how you're going to respond really helps because with an earthquake, you can't stop it. But if you
No.
have a plan on how to respond to it, it helps emotionally too.
Yeah, and it just offers a little extra security as well. Um, the situational awareness sometimes when you're out, it's like if something goes wrong, okay, who's going to be the one that I need to get away from, or who's the one that I need to, connect with? It's very
Exactly.
important too. A lot of people say,
Exactly.
I'm coming to your house. It's like, no, you're not.
Everybody says that. It's like,
I
no,
know,
no.
I know where I'm going. No, you don't. Oh man, so much fun. Okay, well, we will talk soon and see you
Okay.
soon at the training. And thank you again so much, everyone.